The movie is a science fiction thriller set in a world where a mysterious alien presence brings unforeseen trouble. The film opens with a scene featuring a radio operator immersed in a conversation with his friend. During this chat, he picks up a strange and unidentifiable signal on his radio. Intrigued and puzzled, he traces the origin of this bizarre signal to Roswell, New Mexico. Upon reaching the source of the signal, the man mysteriously disappears, never to be seen on Earth again. Fast forward to the present day, and the same peculiar sound from Roswell is received again, this time via a radio signal originating from the North Pole. This signal spreads to various locations around the globe, including the Falkland Islands and the United States, stirring intrigue and concern. Enter Julian, a charismatic and engaging university lecturer at the University of California. While he captivates his students with his lectures, Julian receives a flirtatious message from one of them, who clearly has a crush on him. He quickly dismisses the advance, noting that the lecture is almost over. However, amidst this, Julian receives an urgent call from Professor John, summoning him to the office. Anxiously, Julian wonders if the call is related to the student's advances and prepares himself for a potential reprimand. Upon arriving at Professor John's office, Julian brings up the issue with the student, assuming that's the topic of discussion. However, Professor John, amused by Julian's misinterpretation, redirects the conversation to the matter at hand. He introduces Julian to a mysterious object resembling a rock but with an unknown origin. They brief Julian on the strange sounds it emits and task him with conducting research on this mysterious artifact. Sometime later, Professor John summons Julian for an update. Julian, after some analysis, suggests that an on-site investigation at the object's location would yield more insights. He requests permission to travel to the site for a closer study. Initially hesitant, Professor John eventually concedes, aware of Julian's determined and persistent nature, and grants him the approval to proceed with his research at the site. This decision sets the stage for Julian's journey into the unknown, as he seeks to uncover the secrets of this alien artifact and its implications for the world. The next day, Julian embarks on a challenging journey to Antarctica, where the mysterious alien object has been taken for detailed study in a secure underground facility. Despite the treacherous weather conditions of the North Pole, the plane manages to take off and, after enduring numerous difficulties, successfully lands on the runway in Antarctica. Upon arrival, Julian makes his way to the research base, where he is greeted by Nyla on the third basement level of the facility. Nyla warmly welcomes him and introduces him to Alexei, who then guides Julian to the location of the alien artifact. Once there, Alexei leaves Julian alone with the object, allowing him to begin his examination. Curiosity gets the better of Julian, and he attempts to touch the object with his bare hands. This action results in a startling electrical shock that triggers a rapid succession of memories from his past. As Julian grapples with these flashbacks, he hears someone calling his name. Regaining his composure, he turns to see Kate, his former lover, standing nearby. Their reunion is filled with awkwardness and underlying tension, indicative of a past relationship that didn't end on good terms. When Julian inquires about her current partner, Kate responds indifferently, mentioning that the relationship has ended. She then sternly advises Julian to focus on his work, revealing her ambition to succeed and win the Nobel Prize. Later that night, Alexei introduces Julian to his new colleagues during dinner. The atmosphere becomes noticeably tense when Julian meets Michael, Kate's ex-boyfriend. The dinner conversation soon turns to Julian's expertise. He explains that he is a cryptologist hired to interpret the mysterious sounds emitted by the alien artifact. Julian shares his background, mentioning his previous work at an organization dedicated to studying alien languages and establishing communication with extraterrestrial beings. Unfortunately, that endeavor had fallen apart due to a lack of interest and funding from NASA and the government. The following morning, Nyla visits Julian's room in a see-through outfit and inquires about his breakfast preferences. Julian politely declines any special assistance, and they both head to the common room. Nyla then changes into her uniform and proceeds to an area designated as a cornfield by the scientists. Julian is struck with amazement at the sight of crops thriving in Antarctica, a place known for its inhospitable conditions and where sustaining life, let alone plant growth, seems improbable. This unexpected discovery adds to the intrigue and mystery surrounding the research base and its activities. Julian, accompanied by Kate, makes his way to the room housing the alien artifact. Kate, knowing Julian's expertise and inclinations, asks for his thoughts on the object. She suspects he will associate it with extraterrestrial origins. Julian, intrigued, proceeds to a lab where the team is analyzing the sounds and signals emerging from the mysterious entity. The technician on duty shows Julian the frequencies and wave patterns of the sounds, which have baffled the entire crew. Julian suggests a unique approach to deciphering the signals, proposing the use of mathematics to unravel the frequencies. He immediately sets to work on this challenging task. Meanwhile, a dramatic development occurs with the alien object. The shell-like pod suddenly falls to the ground, splitting into two halves. As it opens, it releases mysterious, encrypted signals and is freed from the ice that encased it. The sound of the object breaking apart attracts the crew to the room. Upon their arrival, they discover the object on the ground with an unknown entity inside. Curiosity gets the better of one of the crew members, who leans over to touch the strange being inside the pod. Julian, recalling his own shocking experience, urgently warns her to refrain from touching it. However, it's too late. As soon as she makes contact, she is repelled by a powerful electric shock. The team quickly learns that the object possesses a strong static electric charge, painfully shocking anyone who comes into contact with its surface. Despite the warning signs, the crew's curiosity about the contents of the alien object grows. They decide to forcibly open the remaining part of the pod to uncover what lies within. Meanwhile, Julian returns to the sound analysis lab, where he has stationed Nyla to monitor any changes in the code encryption. Nyla reports no changes, but the conversation soon turns personal. She shares stories about her childhood and a particular game she played. Julian, inspired by her story, suddenly grasps a new approach to decoding the alien signals. He excitedly begins to apply mathematical calculations based on the game Nyla described. As he works, alphabetical words start to emerge slowly, revealing a clearer message. Finally, Julian successfully deciphers the encrypted signal from the alien entity. Both he and Nyla are shocked by the message they uncover. Don't open it. Realizing the urgency of the warning, they rush to inform the rest of the crew, hoping to prevent them from opening the rest of the object. However, as they arrive at the scene, they find it's too late. The team has already forced open the lid of the alien artifact, potentially unleashing unknown consequences. The opening of the alien artifact unleashes chaos within the base. As the lid is pried open, a viscous alien liquid spills out, followed by the emergence of an alien being. The crew, driven by curiosity and the urge to investigate, approaches the entity. This action proves to be catastrophic as an airborne virus, previously contained within the shell, is released into the environment. The virus is deadly and efficient, causing 4 members of the scientific team to succumb rapidly, their bodies gruesomely melting from within. The remaining team members are thrown into a state of panic and shock. The virus, exhibiting a remarkably high transmission rate and lethal potency, kills anyone it infects within minutes. However, 7 team members, including Michael, show no symptoms, suggesting they might possess some genetic resistance to the virus. Amidst this crisis, the base experiences a total electrical outage, plunging the facility into darkness. One of the survivors suggests venturing outside, but the group quickly realizes the gravity of their situation. They understand that even if they are immune to the virus, they risk carrying it to the outside world, potentially unleashing a global catastrophe. The severity of the situation escalates as the government becomes aware of the alien virus and the imminent threat it poses. In a drastic move to contain the outbreak, they order a Russian nuclear submarine to target the base with a nuclear missile, hoping to eliminate the virus before it can spread further. Meanwhile, Professor John is urgently summoned to the White House to discuss the unfolding events. The authorities inform him that they need his assistance in communicating with Julian at the base. They intend for Professor John to use his influence as Julian's former professor to persuade Julian to cooperate fully with their plans. Back at the base, the team loses track of the alien creature and begins a frantic search using flashlights. However, another team locates the alien first. Julian, amidst the chaos, finds himself unexpectedly connecting with the alien being. But before he can fully explore this connection, a tragic turn of events occurs. One of the panicked survivors, acting out of fear, kills the alien. In the wake of this incident, Julian is struck by a chilling realization. He understands that the alien held crucial information about the deadly virus, knowledge that could have been vital in preventing a global pandemic. Now, with the alien dead and the possibility of the survivors unknowingly carrying the virus, Julian faces a dire predicament. If any of them leave the base alive, it could lead to an unprecedented disaster, endangering all life on Earth. In the intense climax of the plot, the crew inside the base is engulfed in a tense, silent atmosphere. Suddenly, a phone call breaks the quiet, directed to Julian from Professor John. As Julian listens, he's haunted by blurry images in his mind, trying to make sense of the unfolding situation. His conversation is interrupted by a suspicious sound from within the base. Julian, sensing something amiss, questions Professor John about his location. It's then revealed to the team that they have just over 3 hours left before a nuclear bomb strikes the base, a drastic measure to prevent the potentially catastrophic alien virus from reaching the outside world. With the clock ticking, Julian urgently communicates this dire news to the rest of the survivors. They're in a race against time to find a solution that prevents the virus from escaping and wreaking havoc globally. As despair sets in, Michael takes matters into his own hands. He approaches one of the survivors, a pilot, and persuades him to flee the base before the nuclear strike. Michael suggests using the lab's greenhouse as an escape route. The group hastily puts this plan into action, but their escape is soon hindered as other team members attempt to stop them, desperate to prevent the virus from spreading. During the chaotic escape, Alexei is shot in the shoulder, and Julian chases after Michael and the pilot. Upon reaching the greenhouse and seeing the withered crops, the pilot halts, disagreeing with the plan. In a moment of desperation, Michael shoots the pilot and continues his escape alone. Julian, in close pursuit, watches as Michael submits to the harsh conditions outside the base, unable to breathe. In a shocking twist, a mysterious alien spacecraft appears, drawn by the same signal Julian had been studying. Michael dies, but Julian is unexpectedly rescued by the alien beings. He rushes back to the base, urging the remaining survivors to join him in leaving the planet. With only minutes to spare before the nuclear strike, they board the alien spacecraft, leaving Earth just in time. Aboard the spacecraft, Julian and his companions grapple with their emotions, relieved to have escaped certain death, but uncertain about what lies ahead. They find themselves relying on the enigmatic aliens, hoping that these beings possess the capability and willingness to help them. Back on Earth, the government scrambles to cover up the incident, concealing the truth about the alien threat to humanity's existence. The film ends with a scene of the alien spacecraft departing Earth, carrying the human survivors into the unknown. As they journey into the vastness of space alongside their alien rescuers, they face an uncertain future, their fate now intertwined with these mysterious extraterrestrial beings.